Presenting from the convention and entertainment industries will be Denise Beckson, VP Morey's Piers and New Jersey Amusement Association board member, Kevin King, President and CEO, Vista Convention Services, Dan Boutureira, New Jersey Expo Center, Michael Rosenberg of McCarter Theater, and Brett Denafo, who owns Tilton Square Movie Theaters. Denise, we're going to begin with you.
Good morning and thank you. The outdoor amusement sector currently has a 50% capacity restriction. While we're concerned about capacity restrictions, of equal concern to us are the sanitation requirements. The Department of Health requires us to sanitize lap bars, harnesses, ride components after each rider. The time to sanitize, coupled with the 6 feet distancing on ride vehicles, is severely impacting our business model and potentially creating a bigger health hazard for our guests. As an example, we have a roller coaster, the Sea Serpent. It can typically carry about 700 people an hour. This summer with the restrictions, we were at about 150 people per hour. So we're sanitizing the rides, but riders are static, standing in line longer than typical. And the current regulations prioritize surface cleaning over limiting guest time congregating in queue lines. We'd like to see the health guidelines amended to frequent sanitation, such as what's required in restrooms, retail areas, and grocery stores. And I think as we go through the next few months, we need to look at the health requirements for all businesses in light of new information that we have on COVID to make sure that the mitigating factors really are helpful and that we're putting the emphasis in the right area. My second topic is staffing and labor. It was extremely difficult to staff our operation this year, even with the high unemployment rate. Adults out of work are simply not looking for summer jobs. They're looking for a career replacement job. Many businesses, including amusement parks and attractions, could not fully operate due to insufficient staffing. General COVID fears kept people out of the work. Federal unemployment supplement served as a perverse incentive to keep people from working, and to further challenge us, our minor workforce, whom we hire every year, had difficulties getting working papers as schools were closed and not able to sign off on these in a timely manner. We need to overhaul the minor working paper process. It's antiquated. It doesn't take advantage of current technology. And even in non-COVID years, teens and parents find it difficult and time-consuming to get the papers issued. We would also like to see a review of hour limitations on youth so that they can potentially work more. Finally, the United States Department of State J-1 Summer Work Travel Visa program was banned by presidential proclamation. This further exacerbated staffing for tourist areas. Each summer, New Jersey hosts about 5,000 foreign university students in this public exchange program, and the tourism sector greatly suffered by not having this much needed staff. This past summer, amusement parks and attractions experienced average revenue declines of over 50%. Capacity restrictions, sanitization, staffing difficulties, all contributing. These declines, along with our high fixed costs, have put us in a very precarious situation as we strive to hold on over the off season and make it until summer 2021. We desperately need a pause of the minimum wage increases and other pending legislation that will increase costs to our businesses. We also need to have relief aimed specifically at seasonal businesses, many of whom would meet the definition of small with our full-time staff, but get precluded because of our seasonal swell of employment with temporary non-career staff. And we absolutely need liability protection for businesses. Thank you for your attention today. I'll now turn it over to Kevin King, President and CEO of Vista Convention Services.
Good morning, everyone. I appreciate the opportunity to speak today. We are a general service exposition service contractor that installs and dismantles trade shows in the Atlantic City area. Well, we also have an office in Philadelphia, PA, and Miami Beach, Florida. Speaking specifically today about the Atlantic City Convention Center. We help produce some of the largest shows in the convention center. The Pool and Spa Convention, the Progressive Boat Show, the New Jersey League of Municipalities, the NJEA Teachers Convention, and the Triple Play Convention. It's the Realtor Convention, to name a few. We were basically we were shut down, and we have been shut down completely as a business. And we have had to take we've had to make some very difficult decisions. Normally we employ 25 full-time employees. We're currently down to roughly 10 employees, and some are working 1 to 2 days a week. Some I have working 1 day a week just so they can have health benefits. One of our largest shows, the Pool and Spa Convention, we hire upwards of 100 full-time union personnel just for that show in a 10-day period. There's been questions asked about our business with how we can open up confidently, safely. One of our clients, as I mentioned, the New Jersey League of Municipalities, we did have a plan in place. Typically we do 10-foot aisles on our shows. We proposed to go to 20-foot aisles, double that size. We also were going to have one-way aisles where people would walk down just one way, not go both ways. Also, the management staff that runs the building, Spectra, they had a plan in place to have sanitation stations 100 feet, every 100 feet. And show management had a plan in place to kind of go back to old school where they were going to mail badges where people didn't have to show up and have long lines that you typically see at a trade show, especially a large one. I think as a previous speaker has mentioned before, our business, I'm confused because as others have mentioned today, with retail stores, Home Depots, Lowe's, supermarkets, you go there on a weekend or any day of the week, they're constantly packed. Now you take the Atlantic City Convention Center, that's a 500,000 square foot building where you could go into a Home Depot, it could be 100,000 square feet, and you have hundreds and thousands of people in that store. So if you take our business as a convention center, we can expand the show, as I mentioned, make the aisles bigger, and we can safely open up for conventions. I mean, currently now we're shut down as a contractor. We are doing nothing. We have done nothing since March 13th. And the biggest thing is we don't know when we're going to reopen. It could be the second quarter, or possibly it could be the third quarter, September. We don't know. We're in a position where this is a huge trickle down effect for conventions, because my suppliers, I hire, a floral company. My signage company does an enormous amount of work for me. And then I hire trades, unions that work for me. And when we're busy, we hire the Teamsters Union, Carpenters Union, Painters Union. They all work 3 trades in our industry in Atlantic City. And trickle down effect for having conventions right now it's enormous. And it's the unknown for us. We don't know when we're going back to work. I appreciate the time today. Thank you. Dan, I think it's on you now.
Thank you, Kevin. Hi, my name is Dan Boutureira. I'm the general manager at the New Jersey Convention Center. To be honest, we don't really do this a lot. We're a very private business. We work with our town a lot. And I had a full speech, like everyone else, to read. But after hearing everyone, and if there is people from the state listening, the most important thing I can say to any of the state, if you're listening, is please have someone talk to us. People at the state level are pushing us to the side just because we're a convention center or we're a larger facility. And we don't have any representation in the state at all. We represent 80 small businesses that do shows at our building. We do over 120 shows a year. 95% of all of the businesses that do shows at our building are small businesses, mom and pop shops. Please, someone from the state health department, a senator, the governor, anyone, please talk to us, because we've sent proposal after proposal and we keep getting stonewalled. We have small businesses that rely on our convention center. We have shows, we have people, we have a community that rely on our convention center, the restaurants around our convention center, the hotels around our convention center, not to mention the small businesses that present at our convention center. Just like Kevin was saying, we have 150,000 square feet. And someone said earlier, I actually wrote it down, Alan, at the beginning of all this, one size doesn't fit all. Our convention center and Atlantic City, Meadowlands, Ocean County, all these large convention centers and facilities, 150 people is nothing. We can do the 20-foot aisles compared to 6 at a Home Depot. We can make our convention centers look any way that you want us to look, but we need to talk to someone with the state, because all we've gotten is, I'm sorry, I'm not the person to talk to. It's this person. And we keep getting pushed along. We need someone to talk to. And again, I had a whole other speech going, but I think everyone has said it very well today. We all need help. And my suggestion, if anyone from the state is listening, is please let the local governments, the health departments, the fire departments take over some of the burden that you guys are seeing from our companies. We keep calling the state. Our town keeps calling the state for us. And again, we keep getting stonewalled. Let our town, who knows our business, that we work with all the time, the health department that we work with all the time, say, here are the restrictions that you have. Here's the plan that we appreciate, that we've worked together to do. Now open up and have your business go. And let's have a very safe and great way for the community to come together, where instead of going to a house party, which we've seen where the spikes are coming from, they're coming to a safe environment of a convention center, a hotel ballroom, an amusement park, anything. But again, I please anyone with the state, just have someone be able to talk to some of our businesses. Thank you. I will give it over to Michael Rosenberg.
Michael, are you out there? I'm not hearing Michael, so why don't we go on to Brett, and we'll come back if we find Michael in the crowd. Brett, all yours.
Thank you very much. I appreciate being on this call. I tell you, Dan hit it right on the money. There's been a lot of great things that's been said on this call here. And I had a couple things written down too that it's been said in this meeting here. The biggest frustration I have owning theaters, we own the Tilton Square Theater, also own the Harbor Square Theater in Stone Harbor, and the newly theater that should have been open by now, but we've been kind of slowed down a little bit because we really can't open up at full capacity, is the Ventnor Square Theater in Ventnor, if anybody's familiar with it. We have invested well over $4 million into that theater. It was sitting for 20 years. No one wanted it. It was an eyesore in the city. And we took the chance and put all this money into it. And now we are in this predicament now that's not very good. So my biggest hurdle here, owning a movie theater, we're at 25%. And other people in this call have said, you know, I don't understand why Home Depot and Lowe's are not at 25%. And we're getting, hospitality industries getting kind of killed at 25%. For me as a theater business, the costs are killing us, just like it is with Morey's and everybody else. I got Cintas that comes in every night and sanitizes the entire theater, sprays the theaters down every night. I have extra employees on to wipe down the seats. I actually know where you sit because I have reserved seating in my theater. So I know exactly where a person sits. And when they leave, we wipe down, we sanitize the seat. And then at nighttime, we do a complete sanitize of the whole building. But 25% is not cutting it for us. And if everybody knows the theater business, there's no new movies coming out right now. And the reason for that is these film studios like Disney and Sony, Universal, they are pushing off the movies. They don't want to put movies out in theaters at 25%. Now, most of the states are at 50%. The problem is you have New York that's just opening up theaters, I think this weekend, not the city, but the state is, but they're only going to be at 25%. And then you have LA that's not open. But 25% just doesn't cut it in the theater business. I'll give you a quick example. I have an IMAX that I also own that's in the Tilton. That holds 400 people. I mean, I'm seating, you know, after the social distancing with the seating, I'm seating like 60 people in there. It's just not cutting it. I mean, just turning the heating and the air conditioning on and the projectors, we are losing our shirt right now. And it just, the 25%, if we get to 50%, will that help? It will. I know in the restaurant industry, it might not help the restaurants, especially a smaller place, but the theater business, if we get to that 50%, I think it could help us. And Dan made a very good point. Nobody, and I have called the state multiple times. I want to tell you, the only politician that's done anything for me, any kind of help, has been Congressman Vandreau. He's the only one that's been really helping and trying to get something down here in South Jersey, because we have just been bleeding down here. And I've called senators, I've called assemblymen. We've just got nowhere. Nobody's picking up the phone. And when you talk to somebody, they said they're going to call you back, and we get no call back. And I think that's the biggest frustration I have, is no communication here from the state. And it's really, I just can't believe that, especially me living in South Jersey too, with the casinos down here. Without the casinos down here, this South Jersey area is in trouble. I just feel like that's such a huge moneymaker for the state, and still no communication with the casinos or with anybody down here in South Jersey. I just feel like we've been in the dark for the past 7-8 months, and it's very scary. And how long can we continue like this? I don't know. But for the theater business, we really need to get past this 25%. And one other thing, I'm going to end on this note, and everybody's mentioned about the Home Depot and the Lowe's. Okay, you have thousands of people going through there. I have 30-foot ceilings in my theaters. I can space people out just like the convention center can space aisles out. Why can't we just operate the way we need to operate and do the social distancing and wear the mask and do everything correctly? Why can't we do that? I just don't understand why the state doesn't allow us to do that, and why are they tying our hands? It's almost like they're just trying to control things a little too much, and it's just not helping us out. But I end on that note. I really appreciate having this Zoom meeting and hearing some other people on here that made some very great points, and hopefully things will get better in the next few months.